Today's video will be covering Pokemon that when you evolve them, it takes a long time to get to its final evolution. Longer than any other Pokemon in that main series game in question. So for Pokemon that evolve via level up, we're looking at Pokemon that are found at the lowest level possible and have to go through the most levels to reach its final evolution. And for Pokemon that evolve with an item or location, we're looking at Pokemon that when they are caught, they have the longest time to go through before they can fulfill their criteria. Hopefully that makes sense. You enjoy the amount of research I put into this, and let's get started. Starting with red, blue, and yellow, of course, we have Dratini, which is found at a low level in each of these games, which means you're looking at a minimum of 40 levels before you can get your Dragonite. Since these games, the evolutionary stones are found pretty early on in the games, there's not a huge gap for these Pokemon to reach their evolutions. The biggest being Pikachu, found in Viridian Forest. You'll have to wait until Celadon City to evolve it into Raichu. Then we go into Gold, Silver, and Crystal, where things get a little more interesting. So Dratini still has the record for these games at 45 levels, though Larvitar does come close. In Gold and Silver, you get Bellsprout pretty early on, but since you have to wait until you get to Cerulean City and talk to Bill's grandfather to get the Leaf Stone to evolve into Victory Bell, that is a pretty long time to be stuck with a Weepinbell. And that would mean that you would have a Weepinbell by the time you beat the Pokemon League, which isn't ideal. And then for Crystal, it is a bit easier because they changed it so that you can obtain the stones in the Johto portion of the game through talking to NPCs who you register their phone numbers. So that means for the case of Poliwag, which is found in Route 30, it's going to be stuck as a Poliwhirl until you get the Surf HM, and then you can access either the Waterstone through Route 42 RNG, or you can go with the Surefire thing with Politoed and get the King's Rock and Slowpoke well. With Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, you get two Pokemon at level 5 that take longer than any other to evolve. It takes 35 from Whismur to Exploud and 40 from Beldum to Metagross. And then for the item evolutions, each game has a different scenario. Seedot is found early on, but you have to wait until Surf to get the Leaf Stone. And the same applies to Lotad and Emerald. Because in Sapphire there is no Solrock available, which means you lose that method of obtaining the Sunstone, either from catching a Solrock or by using Thief for Covet. Then you have to wait until you get to Mozdeep City to get Oddish into Blossom. For Fire Red and Leaf Green, it's a tie between Dratini and Larvitar. For the item evolutions, in Fire Red, you get Oddish right before you take on Misty, but you have to wait until 6th Island if you want to evolve that Gloom into Blossom. And then for Leaf Green, since Oddish is exclusive to Fire Red, the next earliest Pokemon you obtain is Onix. And from Rock Tunnel, you have to wait until Memorial Pillar to get the Metal Coat to evolve into Steelix. In Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, you have Gible needing 33 evolutions from Wayward Cave to get to level 46 for Garchomp. This changes in Platinum though, since Gible's minimum level is now 17, so that honor goes to Starly, which needs 32 levels to go from Route 201 to from level 2 to Staraptor's 34. Then in the case of the item or special evolutions, Murkrow and Misdreavus require you to go from Eterna Forest with them all the way to the Galactic Warehouse until you can evolve them into Honchkrow or Mismagius respectively. And then you have to go all the way to Route 217 before you can evolve Eevee into Glaceon, at which point you probably would have considered evolving into any other evolution. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, not too much has changed. With Dratini, it's now available as low as level 5, so it can take up to 50 levels to get to Dragonite. And then with Bellsprout, you will have to go up until the Pokeathlon until you can get to Victory Bell, which is a lot less time than in the original Gold and Silver, but that's because the Pokeathlon offers different evolution items depending on the day of the week, but they include all of them except for Dragon Scale and Upgrade, and the Pokemon that need those to evolve are found later in the game anyway, so it's not a big issue. So now we go on to Unova. So with black and white, the highest we found is just 30 levels from Lillipup to Stoutland, unless you count the level 1 Larvesta, but I decided to not really, consider that the winner, since you can catch a wild Volcarona at the Relic Castle anyway. There's no major item droughts in this game, with the biggest being the elemental monkeys. So the Pansage, Panpour, Pansear you get at Striaton Gym, or just before it, in the Dream Yard. You'll have to just wait a bit until Castelia City to get those evolutionary stones. Black, White 2, there is a 23 level gap between catching your Clink and Archstone Cave and then getting your Klinklank at level 49. And then for special evolution methods, you have to hold on to your Eevee until post game if you want to get Leafeon or Glaceon, unfortunately. With X and Y, this is where Pokemon with high evolution requirements start to be found earlier in the game. You may have noticed Axew and Mienfoo, among others, being this early in the game, but the one that takes the cake is Bagon, which you can find at level 14 in Route 8. So that means 36 levels are needed to get all the way to Salamence. And then the biggest item gap in this game would be Onyx from Glittering Cave, until you reach the Pokeball Factory where you can obtain the Metal Coat. Next we have Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where level-wise Bagon and Beldum are these selections here. Bagon for the level requirement from catching it in the wild, to Beldum just being obtainable through Steven's Gift at level 5. As for items, you get Curly pretty on in the game, evolving it from Ralts, but then you have to wait until Victory Road when you beat Wally to evolve it into Gallade. At which point, it might have been useful to just stick with Gardevoir. Then for the Alola games, Rufflet and Volibeye are found at a measly level 10 and 11 in Route 3, which means you're looking at over 40 levels to get these tiny birds to reach Braviary and Mandibuzz. That's why it was such a godsend when you could get those two birds, or one of them anyway, because they were version exclusive, at level 25 in Black 2 and White 2. Sun and Moon was notorious for the lengthy amount of time it took for Charjabug to reach Vikavolt due to Vast Pony Canyon's placement in the game. This was addressed with Blush Mountain having the magnetic field properties in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And in those games, the largest item evolution drought was Magby from Willa Volcano Park. You had to wait until Seafolk Village to get the Magmarizer. For Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Dratini once again is the Pokemon that requires the most levels from capture to evolution. And for the item drought, Arash and Bellsprout are found in Route 1. And then you have to wait until you have cut access to get the Leaf Stone you need to get either Victory Bell or Vileplume. Or you can wait until Celadon again, it's up to you. And last but not least, we have Sword and Shield. So you can get Vanillite in the Rolling Fields, the very first area you encounter in the wild area at level 7, assuming that it's hailing. And then it takes 40 levels from there to get to Vanillix. As for items, they did a good job placing the items in this game, so it wasn't too much of a concern. Since you can get Rhydon in the second section of the wild area, you have to wait until Route 9 for your guaranteed chance at the Protector from Rhyperior. You can also get it, I believe, through the Stow Side bargain, but that's RNG. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any feedback on this video, if I got something wrong or if you learned something new, please let me know in the comment section as well. And let me know if you have a topic, Pokemon or otherwise, you'd like me to cover in a future video. If it gets enough support and traction, I will consider doing that video. Here's all my social media stuff. Thank you to my Patreon subscribers. I appreciate your contributions, especially during this difficult time. And thank you to Mike Zawiska for making the thumbnail for this video. Apologies for the lighting, but since you mentioned using Litwick in your Shield playthrough, I decided to put a Litwick there for you. Thank you so much. Alright, I hope you have a good day, and thank you for watching.